Welcome to Lifestyle Alchemy. I'm Sydney, medical astrologer, energetic alchemist, and transformation expert. In this podcast, I share what I'm actually living and learning. Sometimes that's decoding my birth chart. Sometimes it's rewiring and regulating my nervous system. Sometimes it's just real talk about what's working and what's not. This show goes beyond astrology. You'll hear about health and wellness, mindset and energy work, manifestation, spirituality, and all the things that help us actually embody who we're meant to be. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to Lifestyle Alchemy. I am back. I will say I kind of warned you in the last episode that I may take a little 1-week break for birthday season. As I said in the last episode, it was Corey's birthday coming up, and then after that was my birthday, which my birthday was yesterday, June 30th, and we had such a good time. Birthday month is always so fun, and it honestly makes it even more fun. Like, I've always loved June because obviously it's my birthday. But now it's like even more fun with having Corey to share the month with, and our birthdays are 10 days apart. He's 6/20, I'm 6/30. So it's like they're far enough apart that he gets his day and I get my day, and it feels like separate and still special, but it's also close enough that it just feels like extra celebratory and extra special. And I love that. I've always loved having a birthday like in the middle of the year because it feels like it really, you know how people who have like Sagittarius or Capricorn birthdays like December, and they're always saying like, oh, it sucks to have a birthday like right by Christmas because the birthday kind of gets overshadowed. And I mean, it's understandable. And so I've always kind of thought it was really cool that my birthday is like the exact midpoint of the year. And it kind of just separates. It feels like, okay, like every 6 months we get a celebration. And so that's kind of fun. But anyway, so for Corey's birthday, we did it was just all about him, and it was great. It was on a Saturday, so he was lucky. His birthday fell on a Saturday. So really just the whole weekend, we just kind of did fun stuff, and we saw Toy Story 5, which was so cute. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was so funny. And then my birthday yesterday was a Tuesday, so not as desirable of a day for a birthday, but it's fine. Corey took the day off, and so did I. So we just, from top to bottom, we just did all the things I wanted to do. And so basically, I'll run you through a quick little, if you don't follow me on social media and you weren't watching my stories, I will just take you through a quick little, what did we do for my birthday? So in the morning, we woke up and made our coffees, and usually we would have at least a yogurt or whatever, but I wanted to go to breakfast at my favorite place in Phoenix. And oh my God, it's a 100% gluten-free cafe, and it's soul food. Like the stuff that you can eat at this place and having it be, 100% gluten-free is insane. It's stuff that I haven't gotten to eat like literally since I've been gluten-free, which I went gluten-free when I was like 20-ish. I might have been 19. I might have been 21, but I was like, we'll call it 20. So for like 13 years, because I just turned 33 yesterday. So yeah, this is not the place. It's called Jules Cafe. If you are in the Phoenix or Scottsdale area, I highly recommend that you go try Jules. It's pretty famous. It's pretty well known. It's, on the weekends, it's like very busy, but yeah, it's not somewhere that you go if you like want to, it's not healthy. It is very much not healthy, but oh my God, is it good? And so we don't go there super, super often because, like I just said, it's not healthy. And yeah, it's a treat. But it is just so good. And everybody that we've ever, like, I think everybody that's ever come to visit us here, we've gone there with them and everybody loves it. Like, even non-gluten free people, like Corey is actually, he's not gluten free and he loves it. And everyone, like my dad loved it. And my dad is usually very skeptical of gluten free food. So anyway, I mean, when I tell you that I get like fried chicken with, sausage cream gravy on it. Oh, it's so good. So that's what I got. That's what we did. We had breakfast there and then we did a little Target run because we needed to get some stuff. And then we went back home and played a few games of Skip-Bo. As you know, we love to play Skip-Bo. That's like our favorite thing. We do it almost every day. So we played a few games of Skip-Bo and then we were going to go to the pool. But before we went to the pool, we went to Starbucks because, you have to go get your free birthday drink on Starbucks. Hello. So obviously I'm getting a venti, like, duh. So I got a venti, matcha made with almond milk, and I got the lavender cold foam because that is so incredibly delicious. And then we went to the pool and we hung out I don't know, we probably were there for like 2.5 hours and just got some sun. I wanted to get not only, of course, the vitamin D, but I wanted to get my tan, maintain my tan, add to my tan. It's actually been so cool living in Arizona because I was just telling Corey this last night, actually. So whenever I lived in the Midwest, well, not the whole time, actually. So whenever I was growing up, my family had a house, like a cabin on Grand Lake, which is a massive, massive, massive lake that spans like multiple states in the Midwest. It's like Oklahoma, Arkansas, probably Missouri, like I don't even remember, but it's a massive, massive lake. And we had a lake house on Grand Lake. And so we would go there like every weekend and, the summers and everything. And I was in the sun, obviously like all the time. And so I was tan. I was brown. And then whenever they sold that and, moving from teenage years through college and early adult and everything, like in the Midwest, unless you have a pool or you have a lake house or something, like you're just kind of not outside all that much. Like for the most part, at least I wasn't. It's humid as fuck. And it's like, why would I just be going and hanging out outside when it's super hot, it's super humid, and there's not like a body of water or something to cool me off. And so I don't know, like it got to the point where almost I felt like my skin, like I just like couldn't get it tan. Even if I would like go on a walk, like outside, like a long walk outside, when I lived in Tulsa, I would do that. There was like this trail that I really loved. And it was just like, I would go in the peak sunlight hours and it was just, I could not get tan. It was like my skin was just like rejecting the rays or something. And it was weird because I remember being like, what the fuck? Like I was literally so brown growing up and I always had a tan. I tan very easily. And like sometimes I would burn, but then it would just turn to tan. And so I just was very kind of confused by that. And even if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you might remember last year whenever we went to California for Corey's little sister's white coat ceremony, I had a very unfortunate day at the beach and didn't wear sunscreen and it was overcast. So, those days are very dangerous and you think you're not going to get burnt, but you actually are. And that's what happened to me. And so I actually had a 2nd-degree sunburn on my legs, and it was so bad that I had like a really bad case of edema. So like extreme swelling of my legs and my ankles and everything. And it hurt so bad just to like stand up. And I had to like elevate my legs for like a week. I mean, it was so bad. It was literally so bad. There's still some scarring on my legs from that. Like it was very serious. And anyway, so that was just so crazy to me. And so now like living in Arizona and having a pool in our townhome community, it is just crazy to me how it's like my skin has just switched back to how it used to be, to where I just tan like very easily and very quickly. I don't really burn. I might get a little bit pink, but then again, like the next day it will be brown. It will just turn. I do wear sunscreen on my face, and I usually always have like a ball cap or like a pool hat or something, like a beach hat. Just to, I'm not trying to get sunspots, but I actually really don't wear sunscreen like on my body at all anymore. I just kind of, like I will if I'm going to be like in direct sunlight for like a really, really long time. But for the most part, like I just handle it really well. Like my skin handles it really well. So anyway, I just thought that's just really cool. Like living somewhere where I can be outside and like get the vitamin T, get the UV rays or the UVB, whatever. I don't know. Whichever the rays are that make you tan, like I'm getting those. So it's cool that I'm like breaking out of that weird phase of my skin, just like rejecting it. Yeah. So we were at the pool for a couple hours. We swam, we laid out. Corey was reading a book, and I was just soaking it in. And then we came back inside. We played more Skip-Bo. And then we took showers and got ready for dinner. And the plan was I had wanted to go to Din Tai Fung, which if you don't know what that is, it's like a really extremely popular, like kind of upscale-ish Chinese place. And it's huge. And I think from what I understand, usually they are in malls or like shopping centers, and which is very smart because the wait time they don't take reservations, which is annoying. But anyway, so there's always like, because it's so wildly popular, like this place has a cult following unlike any other restaurant I've ever even known of. And so the wait time is so crazy. So it was a Tuesday night. We thought like, surely it won't be that long of a wait. And so we get there at like 6:30. It's in the Scottsdale Fashion Plaza I always say that wrong. Fashion Square. I don't know why I always like make up another name for it. It was in the Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall, which is a very like nice upscale mall in South Scottsdale, aka Old Town Scottsdale. And so what's nice is, you can put your name in and then just like shop around in the mall. And then whenever they text you, you just have to be back within like 15 minutes. And so we're like, I was expecting, I don't know, maybe an hour max wait. And I'm like, easy, we can go walk around for an hour, like no problem. We're not starving yet. Like we're hungry, but we're not starving yet. Okay, so I kid you not, we put our names in and she's like, it's going to be about a 2-hour wait. Is that okay? And we're just like in shock, and we're like, yeah, that's fine. So she like takes Corey's name and number, and immediately like we walk away and we're like, do you really want to wait 2 hours? Like that's crazy. And Corey has been there before. I've never been there before, but they just opened this one in Scottsdale like not too long ago. And I've never been. They don't have them in Oklahoma, but they do have them in Orange County where Corey's from. So he has been there before, and he's like, it's good, but it's like, I don't know that it's that good. So I'm like, yeah, I don't want to walk around for 2 hours. Like if I had something specific that I was like shopping for or whatever, like, yeah, that might be a different story, but it's 6:30. like, I don't want to walk around aimlessly at the mall for 2 hours, like, and I'm hungry already and I'm only going to get hungrier. So like, yeah, this isn't really it. So we went to this other really nice restaurant that we hadn't been to yet, but we've like seen it and heard of it. It's called Elefante, and it is at the same place. Like it's we didn't have to leave or anything. It's attached to the mall. And so this place ended up being so delicious. Like it definitely worked out exactly like in my favor and how it was supposed to, because this restaurant, it was so like pretty and vibey, and you just kind of felt like you were in your own like different kind of world. It was Mediterranean and Italian. It was like a fusion between Mediterranean and Italian, and just so vibey, so upscale, and just delicious. Like everything we got was so good, and we were both very, very impressed. And so we were like, hell yeah, now we have a new like date night place. It's always fun to, you know, discover new places. So that worked out perfectly. And so then we came home, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We did we did our little question game too. I think I mentioned in a different episode that we like to do our little like conversation card games for like couples and stuff. And so we did that. And yeah, I won't go into too much detail about what else, but it was just such a good birthday. Just really, really grateful. It was my third birthday being with Corey. And I mean, obviously birthdays are like usually fun no matter what, but it really is a whole other like layer added to it whenever you're able to spend a birthday with your significant other. So that was awesome. That's that. That's a little life update for you. Nothing else is too new around here. But okay, so basically what I want to talk to you about today, aside from just a little rundown on the birthday situation, is that, so okay, there's this, I don't know, like if I want to call it not a theory, but like an effect. There's an effect, like the observer effect, I think would be a good thing to call it, that you can use to your favor to help you if you're feeling stuck in life. And this can work no matter what area, you know, if you're feeling stuck in love, or if you're feeling stuck in your fitness journey, or, you know, however you feel stuck, your financial, literally any area of life that you're like, I just don't feel like things are changing. Like I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Why am I not seeing the fruit of my labor? Why am I not seeing the results? I want you to use the observer effect in your favor. So let me explain what I mean by that. Basically, this is very much the same, in my opinion. Well, it's similar. It's similar to whenever you have like a last minute guest coming to your house and you're like, oh shit. And then you start speed cleaning and all of a sudden you're like, wow, I just got so much done. Like I just fucking cleaned my house basically from top to bottom in like an hour, because this person just said that they're going to drop by, or, you know, we have unexpected company or whatever. And you're just like, wow, how come I couldn't get that done? Or like, how come my house hasn't been this clean until now, you know? And it's like, I've even seen people post on social media like, hey, can you like threaten to just drop in on me? Can you threaten to come over unannounced to my house so that I can just get a really good deep clean of my house, and then like don't actually come over? I think it's so funny because like we've all done that. I mean, if you care at all about like your home and the level of presentability it has, you have done this, especially women. And so it's like that essentially is an aspect of the observer effect in action, like you are altering your behavior based on someone observing, in this case, your home. But you can also use it in other ways. So a lot of times I think like this effect or this, phenomenon or whatever sociological term, I think that it can also be like kind of spoken about in kind of a negative way or like a derogatory way of like, if people like, I'm like so not articulate today. I'm like, what's happening in my brain? Sometimes it can get a bad rap for almost like you're giving too much weight to like what other people could be observing or what people could be thinking. And like, yes, obviously that's a possibility. You don't want to put too much stock into like what everyone else thinks. Like obviously it matters the most what you think, but that's a whole other topic. So like, let me not get sidetracked on that. Okay. So in this instance, like, let's say you're like, okay, I am feeling stuck in my fitness journey or in just like your journey with your body, and you feel like you're doing things. You feel like you're making changes and you are doing the things that you feel like you should do or you believe that you should do to get the results that you want. However, you're not getting the results that you want. Like maybe you've seen a little bit here and there, but you're not seeing like the full amount that you want to see or that you think that you should. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine that someone, it doesn't really matter who, like if you want to get specific, you could be like pick someone that you really admire or look up to that maybe isn't more of an expert or maybe just a little bit further ahead of you in that particular realm of whatever journey you're on, like a fitness person or like a yoga teacher that you really admire or like a fitness, like Jillian Michaels or somebody like, I don't know, somebody that you know, like is credible in that area of whatever it is that you're working on. And I want you to imagine that they just like dropped in on you and they're watching your daily stuff, whatever. They're watching what kind of foods you're choosing. They're watching what your exercise is. They're also watching the excuses that you make or what you don't do or what you like half-assed do. Like you do it, but you're kind of phoning it in and you're kind of like not going all, like you're going through the motions to check boxes, but you're not really like, let's say if you're exercising, you're not making that mind muscle connection. If you're eating a certain way, like maybe you're eating the healthy, quote unquote healthy stuff, but then you're also like binging on some candy later. Like, you know what I mean? So sometimes like we can miss these things because a lot of us are a weird mixture of very critical of ourselves and also very lenient with ourselves. And I like totally fall into this category too. Like if I ever get frustrated at myself or not at myself, but like frustrated about a lack of results or something, like if I'm just so honest with myself, like I can really look at my patterns and say, okay, Sydney, well, you have been having a lot more sugar lately, or you have like, but a lot of us aren't willing to get that honest with ourselves because like we don't necessarily really want to change those things. But if you do, and if you're like, you know what, I am sick of being sick, I am fed up of not having the results I want, not having the body I want, the money I want, or just the financial habits I want, the relationship, whatever. Okay, then that's when you need to bring in the observer effect. And I want you to just imagine that someone is, virtually dropping in on you and they are watching all of the things that you do and that you say and, the habits that you break, the habits that you break, did I just say that twice? The habits that you make and the habits that you break. There we go. And the habits the promises that you break to yourself, what you say you're going to do versus what you actually do. And you're going to be able, if you're like, you're kind of like putting their eyes on. And so you're kind of now viewing your life in like almost as if you were completely removed. Like you're watching it as if it were a movie, or as if you're like, you're watching a reality show and you're like, oh my God, like, why is she doing that? Or was she said she was going to do that? Why is she not doing it? Why did she say she wants to do this, but now she's doing this, which is in direct opposition to what she says she wants? Like, it will become so much easier to like just objectively be like, oh my God, well, no wonder I'm not seeing the results, because I'm not even like, I'm not going all in like I think I am. Like, I'm being very lenient with myself because I'm still benefiting in some way from it, from staying attached at least somewhat to these old behaviors or these old patterns. And maybe it's as simple as you're benefiting from it because it just tastes good. Like you just are like me and you like some candy or you like to have a Coke every now and then, like not diet, a regular full sugar Coke. Like, I feel you, girl, me too. And maybe you're benefiting from it in some other kind of way that's more like emotional or energetic, but it really doesn't matter like the why in this particular instance. Like, you can dig more into it if you want to, but in this particular instance, like, just being able to look at what you're doing on the day to day and really see it from, like I said, a more objective standpoint. Like, you're literally just putting someone else's eyes on and you're identifying like, oh, there, I'm tricking myself into thinking that I'm actually doing more than what I'm doing, or I'm being more consistent than I'm actually being. And now like, once you're able to do that, you can kind of flip it into that speed clean of like, okay, let's clean this shit up like quick, because I now all of a sudden have this like superhuman efficiency because I'm able to like zoom in and look at all these little things that I maybe was missing before because you're like putting on the eyes of someone else. Does this make sense? Like, I feel like it makes absolute perfect sense because, and it just using that analogy of like the unexpected person coming over and you're just like, oh my God, like I've got 30 minutes to clean, but you like do a good job. Like, you're getting shit done. Like, you're probably wiping down the baseboards and you've like never done that before. Like, you're seeing your house through the eyes of this person that's about to walk into your house, and you're seeing shit that you've been missing this whole time. Like, you're seeing dust in places that you have never previously really noticed before. It's not that the dust wasn't there, like it's always been there, but you're just now seeing it because you're choosing to view your home through the perspective of this person that's going to walk in that maybe has never been there before, or maybe they have, but so you're like viewing it with an extra like laser focused eye, and you're like, what might this person notice? And then you're noticing things that you've never noticed before, and you're like, oh my God, I've got to clean that. I need to dust that. When is the last time this mirror was cleaned? We have never wiped down the baseboards. Clean the blinds. What? Like dust the ceiling fans. You know, like, you're doing all these things that you maybe have never, and maybe you're like not relating to this example because you're like a clean freak and you're like, I do that every week. Sydney, what are you talking about? Okay, cool. This is just an easy example for me to use. Like, you can use this in literally any other area of life. Okay. Just like make it work for you, make it fit, whatever. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because this is something I was hearing somebody talk about it more, like it was in the lens of business, and it was like, why is your business not popping off? And she was like, I promise you, if I was like a fly on the wall, I could tell you exactly why it's not. And it just got me thinking, like, this literally you could use this for anything, and you don't even need the other person. Like, you don't need another person to actually be a fly on the wall. I mean, you could, if you want that, okay, like if that sounds supportive to you, or you like to have another person like keeping you accountable, amazing. But if you're someone like me who you don't necessarily need that, you just kind of, if you can just like borrow the eyesight of this other figurative person, then you can like get really, really specific, and you can start to see things in your own behavior and your own habits and patterns, everything daily life, that is actually not conducive to the things that you say you want or that you feel like you are working toward. And maybe you are working towards things like a little bit, but then maybe a lot of your actions are also directly going against that and kind of undoing, like taking a step forward, taking a step back, taking a step forward, taking a step back. And so you're like, okay, well, no wonder I am not actually seeing all of the results that I want to see and that I think I should be seeing. And it just, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. Your results always make sense. Even if at first you're like a little bit puzzled and you think that they don't make sense. That's when you need to employ this observer effect to see, all right, what am I missing? What am I missing? What promises am I breaking to myself? Where am I doing a positive behavior and then going right behind myself and basically undoing it in some way, shape, or form? So, all right, that's what I've got for you today. If this resonates with you, I would love for you to send me a DM on Instagram at Sydney Brasfield and just let me know. Let me know if you're like, oh my God, yes, this is like a light bulb moment, because that's how I felt whenever I kind of started thinking about this. And I don't think I've heard anybody else talk about it like in this way. I'm not saying that they haven't, but I haven't personally heard it. So, yeah. And let me know if this is something that you use, after listening to this and how it works for you. And if you want to share any of the things that you realized, I would love to hear it. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your week and holiday weekend, 4th of July, if you're in the US. I know I have a lot of international listeners, so obviously you're probably not celebrating 4th of July, but if you're in the US and you are celebrating Independence Day, I hope that you have an amazing and safe holiday weekend. I will talk to you next week.